morning everybody, welcome to the shop. We are here very briefly this morning and then we're going to do a whole bunch of running around and then come back and do some more stuff. So let's just get straight into it. Right now what I'm doing is... Sorry, I won't tell you what I'm doing. I'm just going to take you on an adventure. Last night, I'll leave this somewhere about here. It is very pretty. We ended up not putting it on last night because we done the engine mounts instead. So I've solid mounted the engine mounts in the 32, which was why my intercooler piping kept ripping off the turbos now. It just kept flexing and the motor's twisting. They're done. Now we're doing the exhaust and I'm just gonna go show you. It's so much easier. Now, don't judge me, okay? The intercooler piping is set up like this specifically so the car can move in and out of the shop daily and the guys do not touch my paint. The car can move under its own power. The reason it has to be hooked up like this is because it runs the AFM and the car will not run unless the AFM is plugged in and that has a bit of vacuum. See them? There you go. Nice plates welded on. I think it was 50mm by 5mm, big steel bar. Okay, I just choked on my hair. It's windy. I'll quickly show you some other really quick stuff. I bought some lights from eBay because my local automotive shop wants $40 for a pair of bulbs, whereas I can spend $20 and buy 2 pairs of bulbs. I'll just pull them out real quick and show you. Let's go this one. These are just a nice simple upgrade from the factory bulbs. And we've gone full LED, stop lights and indicators. Last but not least, what I'm going out for now and why we're going for a drive, or an excursion, an adventure, is so we can go find some carpet or some rubber matting so I can do something about this interior that's all stripped out here. Now I don't want to run rear seats because I don't need them and it's just a waste of space, and I usually shove tires in here when I go drifting, so I just want some rubber matting or maybe some carpet that I can just line everything with. I'm going to create a board here and block that back up to keep all the road noise and the smoke and everything else out, and tidy this up and maybe even, I don't know, mount a toolbox or something in here. Something fun and functional because it is a drift car slash street car, and I will always use it for drifting, so yay! I went to Spotlight to get some materials and I ended up finding some cool kimono stuff for door cards, and they had this. Look, how cool is this? I've never seen one of them ever. That would get scalped so quickly anywhere else except for Spotlight. So yeah, I got some stuff and some tassels and cool stuff to make a gear surround and stuff as well. It's getting out of hand. We went to a nut and bolt shop, which is just across the road here, and we went to Clark Rubber just over here. So Clark Rubber, we've got some boot matting. So this is to put underneath my wing so I can raise my wings slightly above the over fenders. This is, I'm going to cut them into little cubes and then make my own bonnet and boot kind of grommets, spongy things, so the bonnet can actually sit perfectly above the headlights and not have like a slight wonk to it. And the boot, I can't open my boot without having someone open it for me while I'm holding the latch because the wing on it now is quite heavy and it doesn't have enough spring to kind of open the boot. So I'm going to create these and then it's really bendy rubber and crush them. That way when I shut the boot it'll automatically kind of pop open just enough for me to be able to get into my boot without needing someone to help me all the time. Alright, we got carpets. We have black carpets and we got hippie carpets for Benjamin. And it was a surprise kind of thing. The carpet guy ended up being an English teacher that had lived in Japan the last 10 years, so we had a really cool conversation for the last hour. He watches Kuroko no Basket. Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel of too many things to do and never enough time to do them in. We are doing a bunch of cars today. There is a bunch of cars at the shop, however I am going to try and crack out doing the gearbox on the 32 today, as well as my cooling system and hopefully an exhaust on the back. So without further ado, let me show you around. So we got Mr. Orange Super in, getting oil pump and a whole bunch of stuff, so his motor's currently out. We've got the 34 over there, it's a big build. We've got an LS1 300ZX going on. We're currently fixing a, is it a V35 or a G35? Import, non-import? Import, so we got a V35. Currently in for some exhaust work, and he snapped an engine mount, unfortunately, so. And now I'm on to the 32, so I've got to get my fan out of the boot. I've just undone all this so I can put this in. This is going to be a really tight fit. I'm trying to fit, I think it's a triple core. It's a really fat radiator that's not meant to be in this spot, so I've had to undo the power steering lines down here, and I've tried to fit a shroud on top of it, so we'll see how it goes. So the fan is in, triple core is in, but the fan is hitting just on the top up here. You can see on the shroud itself, not actually on the radiator, so here it hits. So blur, come on camera. Yeah, so that's gonna hit, it won't clear. I can't move the radiator any far forward, and being a triple core, it's just that's slightly a bit too big. Triple core rad and GK Tech thermo fan will not work in a stock 32. But now I'll do exactly what I had before, except instead of having the clutch fan, like the OEM clutch fan, sorry, I'll have the GK Tech fan with the triple core radiator, so it'll still be a pretty slight improvement over my cooling, but optimally, if you guys want to do this, do the ducting. Put your shroud in, it will make a massive difference. Unfortunately, you can see the gap that I'm working with here is very, very minimal. I'm not going to be able to run my shroud, but I have solid engine mounts, so I'm not worried about that hitting. My god, that's close, that. Look at all the smoke. How cool is that? Ha! It's like wafting. Bleed! Gearbox is coming out very, very soon, probably in like the next 20 minutes, once the coolant system's bled. When I do the box, I'll do a full service on the car as well, so we'll do plugs, oil filter, oil, check all the rest of the fluids, do the gearbox fluid obviously because it's a new gearbox, and the diff is still good from last time when we went to Rayleigh. Hang in there, little 20, you can do it. Is coming along well.
Very, very shiny.
So I'm playing hopscotch down here, trying not to tread on 4 million things to show you guys. It's a good looking plenum. Nothing crazy, but it'll do the job. Anybody that's not mechanically minded, or this is not so familiar, or you know, if your girlfriend's sitting there watching this, what we are doing is we're bleeding the coolant through the motor and through the whole system by having the highest point up here. So all the air in the motor will come through the cooling system up to here, and all the air will come straight out, and that's all the bubbles that you keep seeing here. Now, when I pulled all this apart, I had been running the car with no radiator on, so I've pumped a bit of air through the cooling system. So this is why I'm spending a bit of extra time trying to get the cooling system bled and getting all the air out of it. Because if you get a big air bubble at the back of the head of the motor and you're drifting or something, you can get like a sudden overheat, and it can cause the motor to warp. You know, it can cause really catastrophic problems, especially when you're treating them the way we do drifting, and essentially abusing them. So yeah, cooling is very, very, very important, and it's also the reason I've upgraded my fan and why I was very disappointed that I couldn't run the shroud. I'll get a piece of paper and I'll show you what this does. So the GK Tech fan's pretty good. see if we can get it to stick. Alright, cool. That does stick very easily. So you can see, that's just an idle. Now if I turned it up, I don't know how I'm going to hold the hammer and turn this up, but we might be able to see it get really sucked in. So watch the edges of the corner, we'll see if we can get it to suck in. So the shroud forces the air to, like pretty much in a cone, and it pulls all the air through the radiator. At the moment, the maximum amount of cold air is only getting pulled from the outside ring, not from the center here, and not from the out, like obviously there's nothing over here, but I mean like, only on the furthest outsides of the fan is the cooling most efficient. On the center part here, it's not so efficient. Thus why people use the shrouds, to get better efficiency with your airflow, because it sucks the air from all corners of the radiator, including the middle, and pulls the air through the back. But yeah, we're just gonna have to settle for this. Now, I've been running the car for maybe about 5 or 10 minutes now, and I'm struggling to get it above 65 degrees. Hey, we're almost at 70. Almost. So yeah, almost at 70 degrees. Now, running temps for these are maybe around 72 degrees. Drifting, they can get up to about 100 degrees or more, depending on how good your cooling system is. This, after we've done the better radiator and the new motor, went from drifting at 110, 120 to I can't get it over 85, 90 degrees now, which is amazing. So the GK Tech fan might help that an extra degree, but with a shroud I probably would have seen maybe 3 or 4 degree difference as well, which would have been super, super good. We're going to jump straight into getting this gearbox out. I am about a second ahead of you guys in terms of, I just got the boot off and yes, I have 2 bolts, not 4. I meant to have 4, but for some reason I can't remember. I didn't put the back 2 in, whether it be they didn't fit or they didn't join to anything. No, okay, yeah, they didn't join to anything, because this is a short shifter. So what I need to do here, normal boxes you just take this whole bit out. However, because it's a short shifter, I just pull this part off here, dump that down there, and then we've got a tiny little stub here, and I can get the gearbox out with that on, that's no problem. So I'll leave that in there, and when we do the new box, I'm going to replace the shifter bushing. Hopefully we get a bit more feel to it. What this does is it stops your gear shifter from feeling so sloppy, if it does feel sloppy. In my case, might as well do it. So I almost forgot, I incinerated my gearbox. That has just come out of the bottom. This is the remnants of my second gear. We're gonna find out what this is gonna look like very soon. Alright, I probably should have done this earlier, but in no particular order, I'm going to lower the car, disconnect the battery, because we now need to undo all the starter motor loom. So there is a little black plug here, then we've got the main power up here. I'm pretty sure that's it, but you don't want to arc out, because that, if you're undoing this nut here and you hit any of this, you'll spark and you can short out everything and burn stuff. So very, very smart idea to disconnect the battery whenever touching a starter motor. So once the oil's drained out of the gearbox, I've undone my sleeve, I've undone my exhaust hanger, and I've got to undo the tail shaft, take the tail shaft out. So that is what I'm currently doing right now. Almost done. To do this, you can reach 3 out of the 4 of these tail shaft bolts. What you need to do to undo these bolts is to put the car into gear or pull the handbrake on. I've done both. Undo the 3 bolts off the back nuts here, and then pull it out of gear, take the handbrake off, turn the wheels, the rear wheels, until you get the bolt facing down, which is what lucky last one is I'm doing right now. And then lock it off again, and then take this bolt out. Once that bolt's out, I'll then take out the uni joint bolts up here, those 2, and then the tail shaft will just slide out of the back of the gearbox. So next we undo all the sensors, so let's put on the sensor, and do this little guy here, and we undo these guys off here. So pretty much just follow the loom and pull anything that's attached to that loom off that goes to the gearbox. Oil is in here because I've done half my service. I've drained all the oil out, put the new filter on. Haven't put the new oil in yet, or the plugs, but I don't want to get distracted. I want to get this box out and done. So I've left this on top here. At the moment, it is cookie time. Check out the box that came out of this. It was filth. Pretty bad. It actually needs new seals in it, so the guys have to wait till Monday to finish this one off. Alright, we are pretty much good to go. The starter motor is out of the way, all the bolts are off, except one right there. I'll get that off now because I've still got my gearbox mount on. So what I'm going to do is get the gearbox, the gearbox uppy downy lifter thing. The gearbox, what is it called? I don't know, gearbox jack. Gearbox jack, let's call it that. So yeah, we're gonna get that, put it under here, and then loosen off the gearbox mount and wiggle the gearbox off, and we should be good. The gearbox is out. I'm just having a break. It's been a while. Whew, it's been pretty alright. The clutch, I found out, so I never knew what the clutch was in the car. The clutch is a 5-puck. Not sure if it's organic, brass, who knows. It's pink, so possibly exedy, but it's a very, very aggressive clutch, and it's a lot of fun, and I think it's at the end of its life, which sucks because I don't want to have to put another clutch in it and pull the box off again in like 3 weeks. I'm going to swap over anything I need to from the old box onto the new box, have a look at the new box, but while it's out, you guys, I'm sorry, I really gotta stop saying the whole you remember previous vlog thing. You guys have seen it in the previous vlog, however, I'll think of a new way to say that. In the past, I keep having problems with the cooling system leaking. So mainly it's the heater lines and the water lines that run under the intake manifold. Now these are really, really, really gay to get to when everything is in the car and there's a gearbox on it and, you know, starter motors there, everything. So it is essential that I get these lines replaced and I fix them up now when I have the chance, and get rid of all the old factory hose clamps, which are usually just 2 wires that kind of bite into all the hose, and that's kind of what causes most of the leaks on these, where they just split or they eat too far into the rubber line starts leaking. So going to pull off what I can, replace what I can with what I can, and we'll go from there, and hope to God no more water leaks, no more overheating, no more no second. Let's get a second gear back. We really need that with a 20. That is my goal. It is Friday night and all I want to do is get this car out on the street, go driving and enjoy it. So I'm gonna keep cracking away and we'll see how we go. I hope I see you guys in the next video of this and the conclusion, because by God, I'm going to be ripping the biggest, yeah, just going for a drive.